Hi, first graders. Are you ready for some more chapters of Cat and Mouse in a Haunted House? If you remember last time we read, Geronimo saw a mummy. And when his cousin and his nephew and his sister came to see what all the ruckus was, the mummy, poof, was gone. Everybody thinks he's crazy, but he thinks he really saw it. Well, he knows he really saw it. So we're going to find out what happens in the next chapter titled, Don't Mess with Momma. I took my things and scuttled away, quiet as a mouse. Oh, how I wished I was home. As I left, I heard my cousin giggling. What a wacko! That mouse is really going to end up on a funny farm for sure. My whiskers were quivering with rage. How dare he call me a wacko? I've seen those mice at the Mad Mouse Center, and let me tell you, I don't act like them. Oh yeah, sure, some of them are a little bit on the jumpy side. Some of them like to claim that they've seen things like ghosts and mummies, just like me. And some of them may even be afraid of heights and spiders and electric toothbrushes and cotton candy because it gets stuck in your whiskers, just like me. But you get the idea. I'm not like them at all. I am a mouse of honor. Holding my candle high, I crept slowly down the dark hallway. I was so frightened. I blinked rapidly. Rapidly means quickly, to keep from crying my eyes out. Here's a picture of the hallway he was in. Finally, I came to a room wallpapered with yellow roses. It was double the size of the other bedrooms. It was huge. The 4-poster bed was gigantic. My whole family, even my chubby Uncle Cheesebelly, could have fit in there. The drapes had the same pretty yellow roses on them. Too bad it looked like someone had slashed them with a knife. Still, the room was quite spectacular, and it even smelled like roses. Above the fireplace hung a huge portrait with a golden frame. It showed Duchess Curly Paw Candy Cat. She was surrounded by her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and by the look on her face, you could tell that she was the true ruler of the Candy Cat clan. And on a chest of drawers stood a marble bust of the Duchess. She wore a superior smile on her furry face, and it was engraved, Don't Mess with Momma. Here's the picture of the Duchess. It said, Don't mess with Momma. A miniature reproduction of the castle stood on the bedside table. I bent closer to get a better look. Etched into the silver were the words, Curly Paw Candy Cat's Castle. I was right. It seemed the Duchess had been the ruler of this castle. I had a feeling she ruled it with an iron paw. She was strict. And on the wall hung letters from the most famous cats of all time. There were letters from the Grand Dukes, kings, and even emperors. I was impressed. Duchess Curly Paw Candy Cat was no kitty. She also had very expensive taste. I saw lots of gold and precious jewels on her many bureaus. On one stood a heavy golden bird cage with a bird tweeting in the center. On another, I spotted a magnificent solid gold crown. It was set with rubies as big as cat's eyes. This must have been the Duchess's crown. Then I spotted a tiny gold figurine. It was a shy, timid-looking cat, and a little plaque underneath the figurine read, My deceased husband, deceased means dead, Duke Pee-wee Puny Paw, born in 1720, died in 1760. Well, that explains it, I thought. Curly Paw Candy Cat was a widow. Her husband passed away. That's why she ruled over the castle and the family. I even found an old dusty small pillow. It was decorated with tiny yellow roses, and the words on the pillow said, Momma is the ruler around this place, so do as she says or she'll rearrange your face. Are you getting scared? All right, here goes the next chapter. A mysterious reflection. I put out the candle and slipped under the covers. I closed my eyes, but one horrible thought kept popping up in my head. Tonight was Halloween. The scariest night of the year. Did I mention? I don't like to be scared. Get a grip, Geronimo, I told myself. It's time to stop being such a scaredy cat. Yes, I, Geronimo Stilton, will turn over a new leaf. From now on, I will be brave, to give myself courage. I began to chant, I am not a scaredy mouse. I am not a scaredy mouse. I repeated the words over and over again, like a CD stuck on repeat. After a while, my paws stopped shaking. I peeked out from under the covers. I was starting to feel better. I guess you could even say I felt stronger and tougher. No ghost was going to send this mouse scampering away. In fact, if I saw a ghost, I would just laugh at its old ghosty face. But then I heard a meowing voice called out in the dark room. Meow! That's right, it said. You're not a scaredy mouse. You're a terrified mouse. My fur stood on end with fright. Who's there? I squeaked. Oh, how I wished I was home. A light came on in the darkest corner of the room by a small bookshelf. There I saw a female. Remember, female means a girl or a woman. A female figure wearing a cone-shaped hat, a long black dress, and pointed shoes. Who wears a cone-shaped hat, a long black dress, and pointy shoes? Here's a picture of it so you can see. So there he is hiding. And do you see something with a pointy hat and a black dress? Oh my gosh. I'm not a scaredy mouse. I'm not a scaredy mouse. I'm not a scaredy mouse. She held a broom in her paw. Could it be a witch's broom? Her wide-brimmed hat covered her snout, but I could tell she was a cat. The paw holding the broom had long, sharp claws. Poisonous, cheesy puffs. It was a witch, and not just any old witch, the worst kind of witch there is. A cat witch. I stared at her frightening reflection in the mirror. The witch began to chuckle. Then she sang a horrifying song. Evil eye and rodent's pie, in my cauldron, prepare to die. She cackled. She waved her broom in the air. Well, 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 what a nice juicy mouse. You'd be just right for a couple of rat burgers. I guess I could use that fur to make myself a cute hat. And those soft little ears would make a perfect powder puff to do my makeup. I hid under the covers. So much for being brave. I admitted I am a scaredy mouse. A perfectly terrified, teeth chattering, nail biting scaredy mouse. Help! I shrieked once again. I was beginning to sound like a broken record asking for help all the time. 30 seconds later, Thea threw open the door. What's up? Did you see a ghost? She cried. No. I saw a witch. My sister blinked. Then she flipped her tail over her shoulder. Well, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. A witch would make a good scoop, too. So, where is she? I want to see her. Here's a picture close-up of the witch. Trembling all over, I pointed at the bookshelf. Armed with her camera, my sister marched forward. I watched as she stared at the bookshelf. Where are you, witch? She demanded. Come on, I just want to take your picture. I peeked out from under the covers. I was shaking like a mouse who had been locked out of his or her mouse hole during a cold winter's night. Thea looked everywhere, but the witch was gone. Here's some clues. There's Thea, really upset and wondering where is his witch, while his cousin is laughing, chuckling. Do you think you know what might have happened? All right, you get one more chapter. Are you ready? It's called, I Love You, Uncle Geronimo. My sister stamped over the bed. She ripped off the covers. Geronimo, how much cheese did you eat tonight? I chewed my whiskers. Very little. I'm telling you, I swear. Just then, Trap, his cousin, peeked into the room. Very little, my pa, he chuckled. He probably ate so much cheese that his stomach begged him to stop. You know, Jerry Berry, you can have terrible nightmares when you eat too much cheese. He poked me in the tummy. You probably dreamed up a bunch of scary things like ghosts and mummies and witches. Why won't anybody listen to me? For the last time, I'm telling you, I only ate a tiny piece of Swiss cheese, all right? Of course, that got Trap started on the dangers of going to bed on an empty stomach. That's even worse than eating too much, he shouted. Meanwhile, Benjamin was checking out the mirror. Remember, he likes to look for clues. He looked on the mirror, the walls, and a chest of drawers. He scratched the fur on top of his head. Tell me, Uncle, he whispered in my ear, are you positive that you saw the witch reflected in that mirror? You don't believe me, don't you? Excuse me, you do believe me, don't you? I asked my favorite nephew. Benjamin kissed me on the tip of my snout. Of course I believe you, Uncle. I always do. I hugged him very tight. And then he pulled out his notepad, and without any other word, he jotted down some notes. I wonder why he asked him if he was sure that he saw the witch in the mirror. Think about what we've learned about light. If you see something reflected in a mirror, can you see it in the dark or only in the light? Kind of works the same as shadows. Can you see your shadow in the dark? You could only see it when there's light. But if the room was dark, how did Geronimo even see the reflection in the mirror? Something is going on. Something cheesy. All right. That's the end of the third chapter. That's all you get for today. All right. Stay tuned for more. You're almost done with the book. Look, you've just got a tiny bit left. All right. I'll scare you guys again another day. Good night.